Hello and welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop, your one stop for co-op news and playthroughs. And today I am playing through Marvel Champions. I'm so excited, it's Friday and there are 4 new heroes being released, 5 new scenarios being released. There's so much new content, it is amazing. I'm covering all 4 heroes between this channel, the One Stop Co-op Shop stream channel, and the One Stop Co-op Shop main channel, which is just called One Stop Co-op Shop. Check out both of these channels. Over there, I'm doing the 2 that don't come in the box set. I am doing Cyclops and Phoenix. And here I'm covering the 2 that come in the campaign set. So I'm covering Kitty Pryde, who's also Shadowcat, and Colossus. So check those out. Check it out here. Check it out on our main channel. Lots of one-stop co-op shop content. You want to see all the new heroes? Best place to see them. And you'll notice I am playing on Tabletop Simulator. That's only because I can zoom in. It's a lot easier to read things, see things here. But I do own all these packs, and I recommend you do the same. Do not play this game without supporting the publisher. Fantasy Flight's doing a great job, and they are really supporting this game, and you really need to support them through all that as well. So, for those of you who haven't joined me for a first play before, what I do is I've tried not to spoil myself too much. I will say I did play in a game with Kitty Pryde at Gen Con this year, so I have seen her played. I know a little bit of her shtick, but I don't know what any of her cards are or what they do. So I'm going to be learning them for the same time, so please be tolerant if I miss some rules or mess something up. We're all here to learn together, but it's really just seeing the cards and experiencing them in gameplay that is the most important thing to take out of this video. So let's talk about Kitty Pryde. She has 3 recovery, 6 hand size, 9 hit points, 5 hand size on the other side, so pretty standard stuff there. She is a mutant. During setup, you put her mass form upgrade into play over here on its solid side face up. She has phase control as an action. She can flip her upgrade limited once per round. So she can flip this as her action on this side. So let's see what this upgrade does. It is a solid mass form. It's a permanent. Hero resource. Exhaust this card to generate a fist resource for an attack or a defense event. Very nice. Response. After you attack or defend in solid mass form, flip this card. And we can choose to flip it again on this side. Mass form phased. While Shadowcat is defending, she cannot take damage. Well, that seems good, but you do have to defend to get that bonus. After you attack or defend in phased form, flip this card. Alright, so it seems like she's going to be flipping a lot. So one of the few things I know about Shadowcat, number 1, she phases through things, obviously. That's why she switched forms. And she has a pet dragon. So this might be my new favorite hero. We will see how gameplay works, but I do love dragons. They're like one of my favorite things in the world. Because we were playing against a dragon, I figured who better to go against than a knight. That is right, we are going against Taskmaster. He's got a sword, he's got a shield. Come on. I mean, dragons against knights, let's do this. So we'll see how this goes. I am not showing off the new scenarios. Come back for our normal Friday night streaming events to see us play the new scenarios. Alright, let's get our 6 card hand size and find out what she can do. She does a phase strike. 3 cost, hero action attack, deals 6 damage to an enemy. If you're in phased mass form, you may discard an attachment with the text hero action or hero response from that enemy. Oh, so if Taskmaster starts getting weapons, attachments, things like that, yeah, that would be pretty nice. Yeah, so that is good to know. Phase strike. I assume I don't have too many of them, and getting one in my first hand, not always the best thing. Alright, so we have an attack training. Here's a new aggression card. So she's an aggression hero. Attached to an X-Man ally, 1 training upgrade per ally. Attached ally gets +1 attack and +2 hit points. Ooh, +2 hit points. Nice. Ready to rumble, planarity players control, max 1 per player. Hero response. After you change form, discard this card to ready your hero. So that means you can heal yourself, whatever else, and still ready. I love that. And it's an upgrade, so it sits in there until you are ready to use it. It's hero response, it's not a forced response. Which makes me happy. Shadowcat Surprise. It's an event. Deal 3 damage to an enemy and ready your hero. By the way, what is our attack and stuff? 2 attack, 2 thwart, 2 defense. Selective intangibility. While you're in phase mass form, Shadowcat ignores the guard and patrol keywords. So you can attack or thwart even if there's people here. And any crisis icons in play, which we do have a crisis icon in play to start the game. So interesting. We could just skip right past that and thwart if we wanted to. I don't know that that's what I want to do, but good to know. Now, after you attack or defend, it does not say attack event. or not. So that's literally any attack or defense. Ooh, Lockheed, I got my dragon. You know he's coming out. He's a dragon. He's an X-Men. Response: after Lockheed enters play, if you are in solid mass form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. If you're in phase mass form, remove 2 threat from a scheme. Yes, please, and thank you, Lockheed. Oh, and only 2 cost. I love it. I love it. Phased and confused. I'm phased and confused. For so long I can't choose. Hero form only. Attached to an enemy. Max 1 per enemy. Forced interrupt. When attached enemy would attack, discard this card instead, then confuse that enemy. Oh, so it's like a stun followed by a confuse, which is cool. Wait a minute. Enemy. Wait a minute. That means enemy can be the enemy. Yes, please. Okay. As much as a lot of these things are cool, and as much as I'd love to give Lockheed an upgrade already on turn 1, I think I want to get phased and confused out, and I'd love to get Lockheed out as well. I'm going to need some double resources for that, though. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff that isn't Lockheed, and you know Lockheed's coming out either this turn or next, and phased and confused is definitely on my radar to get out as well. Let's draw 4 more cards and see what we got. We got a Gatekeeper attached to a minion. Attached minion gets +2 hit points and gains patrol. Wait, why would I want to give that to a minion? Interrupt. When attached minion is defeated, remove 4 threat from the main scheme. So you're giving him this to be able to thwart. You have to deal with 2 more hit points, but you get to thwart. We've seen this attack training. I got 2 more of them and ready to rumble. Wow. All right, got some duplicates at the top of my deck here. Unfortunately, no double resource, which means, oh, wait a minute. Is this attack event? No, it is not. Because if it was an attack event, I'd be able to use it as a fist. So I'm not going to get Lockheed out this turn, probably, which means I'm going to have an extra card. Attach that to a minion, which doesn't really help. So maybe I hold on to attack training as well and make Lockheed a better attacker for me. Or, I mean, I don't want to put Ready to Rumble in play is the problem, because then I'd have to spend Lockheed to do it. So I'm not doing it. I'm just going to do Phased and Confused. I got to be in my hero form to do that, though. The question is, I think I want to be on solid, so that way I'm going to attack. Well, maybe I just thwart this turn. And if I thwart, I don't care which I'm on. In fact, maybe I just thwart right past this, so I don't have to deal with a Hydra minion. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to phased form. While Shadowcat is defending, can't take damage. So I had to do that while I was on my Kitty Pride side. I flip over, but now I can ignore crisis icons. I'm going to do that to remove the 1 threat on the main scheme. But that way I don't have to worry about Hydra Patrol. Or do I just wait? Well, I won't be phase form next turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 resources to put phased and confused. Oh, you know, I don't need to be in phase form. But being in phase form lets me remove threat next turn. Okay, I'm leaving the threat on. We're going to do this, and instead we are going to, well, if we attack, it's going to flip this. All right, so starting from the beginning, I am on my Kitty Pride side. I do not flip this over. I stay solid. I flip over. I attack for 2, which flips this over, takes this down 2. Now I am on my phased form. Then I'm going to spend the 3 resources. I'm going to put in phased and confused, and I'm going to hold on to Lockheed, and I'm going to hold on to attack training. And with the 3 cards I draw, they will pay for these 2, and maybe not if I change my mind. But right now, that is my goal, to pay for those 2. All right, so let's go ahead and draw our 3 cards and see where we go from there. Ready to rumble. That'll let me flip. Okay, quick shift. Hero interrupt on defense. When an enemy attacks, if you are in solid mass form, change to phased, which is good because you take no damage in phased. If you're in phase mass form, you get to draw 2 cards. When an enemy attacks, but the enemy is not going to attack, because when an attached enemy would attack, you discard the card instead. So that is really good, but not going to happen right now. So I also have Airwalk. It's a thwart action. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. 4 instead if you're in phased form, which I am. But I still think Lockheed and attack training are going to be what happens unless something crazy happens. All right, we're going to add 2 threat to this, or second threat here. Now we are going to remove this, and we're going to add the confused condition to Taskmaster. Oh, actually, first things first. After a player changes to hero form, they discard the top card of the encounter deck. Need to do that and take damage equal to whatever this is. So 1 boost icon, so we take 1 damage. Then, after we add 1 here, after resolving step 1 of the villain phase, each player in hero form must choose to either place a threat here or take a damage. I'm going to place a threat. I don't want to take too much damage, not quite yet. Alright, so now that we've done all that, we're through that, now we're going to draw our encounter card. And it is a guard minion. When defeated, deal the engaged player an encounter card. Now, why am I exhausted? I should not be exhausted because I have done nothing except for go back and re-show you everything that I was trying to do. So solid mass, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Alright, so I'm going to attack, which flips this card, does 2 damage here. Now I am in solid form. While I'm in solid form, I'm going to spend 2 to put Lockheed into play. When I do that, after Lockheed enters play, if you are in solid mass form, deal 2 damage to an enemy. Boom, boom, boom. 2 damage. Defeats the Hydra soldier. Now, I got Lockheed out. Thank you, buddy. We're going to give Lockheed +1 attack and +2 hit points because that sounds good. And, you know, dragon. So, a 2 attack dragon, 4 life. I like it. He's going to attack with that 2 attack. And we are going to remove 2 damage from Taskmaster. Boom, boom. Now, the question is, do I flip down? The benefit of flipping down is he's confused. I'll get to draw an extra card. Let's do it. I'm going to flip down. Now I can switch forms if I want. I'm going to stay on solid because I can just flip forms next turn. Alright, so we are going to add 1 threat to the scheme. You are confused. Oh, I guess I should draw my hand of cards because there might be cards that happen on the enemy turn. Oh, a double resource, finally. Quick shift. When you're in defense, you get to use that. That's good. Attached to a minion, gets +2, but then you thwart for 4. Choose an enemy. That enemy attacks you. Deal 5 damage to that enemy. Oh, toe-to-toe. We've seen that before, but new art. So that's a Wolverine on there now, which is kind of cool. I don't know who Wolverine's fighting against there, but love the art. Acute control. Hero response. After you ignore the guard or patrol keyword on a minion, exhaust acute control to deal 2 damage to that minion, and that is a permanent upgrade. Yes, please, and thank you. You get to sneak by stuff and punch it in the face. Oh, so good. Shadow and Steel. Team up with Colossus and Shadow deck. Well, I guess Colossus is in this deck. Spoiler alert. Hero interrupt. While an enemy attacks, prevent all damage from that attack and deal 4 damage to the attacking enemy. Ooh, I like that. I like defense events. So, attack and defense. Alright, now all we have to do is resolve our card. Attach to the villain. Attach villain attacks, gain piercing. Hero action, get rid of those resources to discard it. So, gets rid of piercing, ignores tough, gives him an extra attack. But remember, I have a card that says get rid of these cards. Maybe it was only one of them. Gosh, now I want to look back. It was a hefty cost, 3 cost. Deal 6 damage to an enemy if they are in phased mass form. You may discard an attachment, so 1 attachment. Still pretty good. 6 damage and gets rid of an attachment. Yes, please. I did not realize that was going to be a combo that came out of this, but I'm not complaining. Gotta be honest. So if I need to hold on to a card, Quick Shift is a good one because it's a defense event. So I will see maybe if I can hold on to that. Gatekeeper, unfortunately, no minions out to attach that to. Although, if I get rid of this, then there would be a minion out. Why did I not ready at the end of my turn? No one knows. No one knows. I'm rushing too much. Alright, I will slow down and not mess up anymore. Alright, so let's see what I'm going to do on my turn. Probably not going to toe-to-toe. That seems not great. This acute control seems really good. Shadow and Steel, I mean, I'm not in defense, and I don't have what I need. So, do I want to... I'm probably going to try to ignore this. So, I'm going to go to my phased form. Going to switch that over there. I'm going to discard... Oh... Well, isn't this interesting? I could actually defend right now and draw 2 cards. Huh. But then I don't remove threat from the main scheme. The benefit of being phased now is I can quick shift and toe-to-toe would let me do 5 damage and avoid all of their attack and draw 2 cards with quick shift. Because I don't really have anything I'm loving here. This is a good card, but it's very situational. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. Shadow and Steel to put in acute control, because that seems fun. So that's an upgrade. So now that's just a permanent hero response when I ignore guard or patrol. I am going to go to my phase form. I am going to flip up now. I can either thwart this or I can have him attack me and ignore all of it. You know what? I am going to do it. I'm going to go toe to toe here. Choose an enemy. That enemy attacks you. Deal 5 damage to the enemy. So the enemy attacks me for 3. I'm going to defend, but because I am in phase form, while I'm defending, I cannot take damage. So let's see what happens here. That would have been 2 more. That would have been a total of 5 damage, but I take none of it. And now I'm going to play my quick strike. Because I'm in phase form, I draw 2 cards. So I do that. I draw 2 cards. See what I got. So, and then I do 5 damage, which seems pretty good. Pretty good. But now I am no longer in phase form because, as a reminder, after you attack or defend in phase form, flip this card. So now I am no longer in phase form. Let's see what this beauty is. Phased and Confused. I liked that card last time. Guess what? I have exactly enough to pay for it now. That worked out really well. So that's 1, 2, 3. And we are going to Phased and Confused, which is good because I'm in solid form. Oh, I could use that to pay 1. I could exhaust this to pay 1. Is this an attack? No, it's not an attack event. I keep asking that question, and it's still not. It's never going to change. Stop asking. All right. We will then attack with my wonderful pet Lockheed over here. Not pet, my friend Dragon, who is going to attack for 2 more, and that puts it 1 away, and Lockheed still has 1 more life left. So this is going swimmingly. I am liking Shadowcat, although I'm not doing any of her phasey, sneaky stuff yet, but we will keep that in mind. All right, so I am done. We are going to ready up. We are going to draw up, and I only get 5 cards on this side. Woo! Aggressive Energy. Max 2 per deck. Hero Interrupt. When you spend this card to play an attack event, that event deals 1 additional damage. Ooh, there's Colossus. Reduce the cost of Colossus by 1 if you're a mutant or X-Men. Starts with Toughness. 3 attack, 3 cost, 3 life. Not terrible. Shadowcat Surprise. Deal 3 damage to an enemy and ready your hero. I like that. This is another upgrade. Intangible Interference. Hero Response. After you ignore the crisis icon on a scheme, exhaust Intangible Interference to remove 2 threat. There it is. That's how we get rid of this while getting rid of this at the same time. Thank you. Yes, please. Oh, wow. And then another ignore the attack event. All right, so Intangible Interference has to come out this turn. I also like the deal 3 damage and ready your hero to ready my hero to help me get rid of whatever minion comes out as well. Ooh, see? Things are happening. Things are happening. Although I am in the wrong form. Son of a gun. That's okay. We can work through this. We can make this happen. So let's add 1 threat to the scheme. Then he would attack me, but he's phased and confused. So this goes away. Gets a confused condition. Thank you, Taskmaster, for never attacking me. I appreciate that. 1 reveal. Discard an upgrade or support you control. I don't want to get rid of this upgrade, so I'm actually going to get rid of Acute Control. It's really good, but it's only 1 cost. I don't want to kill off Lockheed yet. Getting rid of this would get rid of 2 hit points, which would take Lockheed to, well, dead and sad. So, not going to do that. Lockheed's my friend. I'm not getting rid of you. So we did that, and we are done. Alright, so it's not going to be as fancy-dancy turn as I thought it would be. Still going to be a little bit fancy. First things first, we are going to attack. So we attack for 2. Hey, that advances the stage. Deal each player an encounter card. So we should do that. Force response. After a player changes to hero form, forgot to do that last turn. Alright, we're just going to do it from the top of the deck. When I switch from my other side to this side, we will do that damage now. So I would have taken 2 more damage. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. Also, at the beginning of my turn, was I in hero form? Because if I was, I should have either taken a damage. I was, I think. Alright, I just take a damage. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm phased and confused. Can't you tell? We did all that. So, that was my attack. Now, I'm going to do Shadowcat Surprise. When you spend this card to play an attack event, that event deals 1 additional damage. I think if I spend 2 of them, it's going to do 2 additional damage, if I'm not mistaken. Deal 3 damage to the enemy and ready your hero. Yes, please. So 1, 2, 3, but I play 2 of those cards, 4, 5, for 2 extra damage. And I get to ready my hero, and I am now in phase form. Although, well, Shadowcat is defending. After you attack or defend in phase form, flip this card. Oh, it's not going to work out the way I wanted. No! No! I was going to do it to intangible interference to ignore a crisis icon to remove the threat. Sadly, it doesn't work the way I thought. That's alright. Colossus goes here. This goes down. Because it doesn't say after you attack or defend. It doesn't say after you use your printed attack or defense. So I could have used this potential. Well, no, I couldn't use to pay for it because I need to exhaust myself. Oh, so I guess if I had thwarted first, maybe it would have worked out. Yeah, I don't know. But if I would have thwarted first, then I would have thwarted this, then I wouldn't have ignored the icon, then I wouldn't have needed it. Disaster. All right, I'm going to thwart anyway. So I'm going to thwart for 2. I'm going to get rid of this thing. I know, I could ignore it in 2 seconds. But, well, that is a point, right? I could ignore it in 2 seconds. I don't want to bring out the minion, although I kind of did because Lockheed could have taken care of him. But you know what? Lockheed's just going to attack. Lockheed's going to do his 2 damage over here. I am going to flip down and I'm going to heal for 3. Flip your mass form upgrade. I'm not doing that yet. Well, I definitely want to be intangible next turn. So, alright. So everything's done. Everything's good. I'm readying up. And I'm going to draw up. I get to draw 6 cards now. Kitty's Room. Oh, that's alter ego action. Exhaust Kitty's Room. If you are in solid mass form, heal 2 damage from Kitty Pride. If you're in phase form, draw a card. Well, I'll get to draw a card. That's fine. Shadow Surprise. Deal 3 damage and ready your hero. Absolutely. That is awesome. Team Strike. Oh, play only if you have X-Men. Hero action attack. Exhaust your hero and any number of X-Men allies. Deal X damage among enemies in play, where X is a total. Among enemies in play, you can split it. Exhaust your hero and any number of X-Men allies. So it's not even limited to 1. Phase Strike. Oh, that would get rid of this sword here. Well, yeah, that's probably going to have to happen. Toe to toe. Nope. Gatekeeper. Nope. So we know what those cards are. Alright, well, let's see how this pans out. We're going to add 1 threat. We're halfway there, which isn't great, but he's confused, so that is great. And then we did not have to deal with this because we were face down this turn, and we didn't flip up, so we don't have to deal with that. So let's just see what happens. This card gains Surge. Alrighty then. This is a fun one. Alright, so if you don't know Taskmaster, this is a when revealed, place a random set aside captive ally face down. There are 4 of them that start the game. They're free allies, basically. When this scheme is defeated, the player who defeated it takes that ally into their hand and removes the scheme from the game. Taskmaster is running around wrangling up heroes, and so you can rescue them. Does add an acceleration icon, which isn't great, but if we can get that 5 threat off of there, that's pretty good. When revealed, alter ego. Discard the top 5 cards of your deck. If a thwart card was discarded this way, Taskmaster schemes. Okay, so 5 cards. Any thwart card is bad for me. Oh, I'm losing Wolverine. Oh, I'm losing Magic. Losing a double resource. Am I losing all these things? Discard them. Yep. All right, well, we're going to look through these because we might not make it through again. All right, Team Strike we know. We just went through. What's X-Mansion? Alter ego action, exhaust X-Mansion, and heal 1 damage from each mutant or X-Men character. Oh, that includes allies. That's pretty freaking cool. Any player whose alter ego has a mutant trait may trigger this ability. Oh, so anybody who's a mutant can use this mansion. Doesn't have to be the player who's it's in front of. So it's kind of like a way better version of crew quarters. So that's cool. Double resource with a new picture in it. New art. Love that. Magic ally, 3 cost. 1 thwart, 2 attack, 3 life. Response: after you play magic from your hand, spend a mental resource, so that would be a 4th resource to pay. Choose a non-elite minion, engage with an X-Men hero, shuffle that minion into the encounter deck. Oh, gone for 1 resource? Yes, please. Wolverine's attacks gain piercing, so it's a 1/3, but he has 2 consequential damage. Response: after your turn begins, heal 1 damage. 2 consequential damage, but he's healing every turn. And if he thwarts every turn, he just stays thwarting. That's pretty good. Or if he, I mean, it's just good. Wolverine, just good. Sadly, Had to discard. 4 cost. Really good aggression hero. Oh, or ally. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is, I hadn't seen that one. Very exciting. Were any of those Thor cards? It's the question. No, that's an attack card. We had 2 allies, we had a location, and we had a resource card. So no, none of that happens. So Taskmaster does not scheme. But I had to discard 5 cards, which doesn't make me happy, gotta be honest. So we're gonna put my room in. So let's go ahead and toe-to-toe to put Kitty Pryde's room in. We're gonna exhaust it because we are in phase mass form, and I don't want to switch because of this upgrade here. So I'm not going to switch, so I'm going to draw a card. Airwalk. Remove 2 threat from scheme, 4 instead if you are in phased mass form. Now what does this say? Whenever I thwart, I can ignore icons? I'm flipping over anyway. Let's actually take the damage this time for the first time all game. Alright, 2. I've been taking it, alright? I just taken a little later than one would expect. So what's this? Remove 4 threat if you're in phase mass form. So what does this say? While you're in phase mass form, Shadowcat ignores guard and patrol keywords and any crisis icon in play. After you ignore a crisis icon on a scheme, exhaust to remove 2 threat. So I could remove 4 from the main doing that with Airwalk. The problem is then I couldn't do phase strike, which seems real good. So I'm going to thwart to remove 2 threat. Then I'm going to exhaust this. After you ignore the crisis icon on a scheme, exhaust this to remove 2 threat from that scheme. Well, I ignored this, so I'm going to remove 2 threat, and then I search the encounter deck for a Hydra minion and put it into play. So let's go ahead and search here for a Hydra minion. That's a 3 health. I'd prefer a 2 health. I'm pretty sure there is one in here. There it is. Incite 1. When it's revealed, place 1 threat. That's fine. But it's 2 health, which means Lockheed can take care of it if we need him to. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you're in phase mass form, you may discard an attachment with the text hero action or hero response. This has hero action. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to do 6 damage and get rid of that. I could give 2 additional health to this, and then it would remove 4 threat. I kind of want to hold on to surprise punch though. Deal 3 damage and ready your hero is pretty good. Of course, Airwalk is pretty stinking good as well. I'm going to have to get rid of one of those. Man, I like these. But Shadowcat surprise, we're trying to take Taskmaster down. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. Look at me being aggressive. We're going to do phase strike. Deal 6 damage to an enemy. If you're in phase mass form, you may discard an attachment. Yep. Alright, so I'm in phase form, but I'm going to switch out of phase form. After the attack, I get to discard this, and I get to do 6. Which brings him down to 3, which is almost death range, but not quite. So because it's not quite, and I am in... Wait, I was in phase form. I did just go to solid form. So, actually, do I hit this one for 2? Probably not, because I'm going to want a chumper, and Lockheed is almost out of life. Yeah, I'm going to just keep my Shadowcat surprise and try to finish it off next turn. Let's go ahead and draw my 4 cards. Oops, I decked, so that's not necessarily great. We'll see what happens here. Shuffle up, draw 2 extra cards. So let's see if anything's new. Shadowcat surprise I kept. I have 2 double resources, both with new art, so Genius with Beast on it, and Phoenix is on the energy card. Awesome. We got the Team Strike to do some damage. Oh, Mansion X. Wait. Do I have 2 Mansion X's? I guess they're not limit 1. Huh. That's cool. Alright, I'm not going to complain about 2 Mansion X's. I would like to use one of them. Alright, so first things first, we're going to add a threat. Then I'm going to add a second threat, because I don't want to take damage right now. I'm pretty hurt. Then Taskmaster is going to attack me. When Taskmaster attacks, I am going to block with Lockheed, and that would have been 4 damage, but Lockheed is out of here. Thank you so much, Lockheed. You have done well. I'm going to take 2 damage from this regular over here. Not feeling great about where I am right now. Honestly, I wish I had a defense card for 2 encounter cards coming up. We'll see. All right, captured by Hydra. So there is another opportunity. Oh, we should have added 1 more for the first capture by Hydra. And ooh, what's this? Hero, you are stunned. Deal 1 damage to your hero. Wait. When revealed, hero. You are stunned. Deal 1 damage to your hero, 2 instead if you are already stunned. So, that's not wonderful. I think I'm okay still, but yeah, I mean, Shadowcat Surprise should be able to, I mean, what, he only has 3 life left, right? Alright, so yes. So Mansion X, again, heal 1 damage from a mutant. Any player whose alter ego may trigger this ability. That's nice. Alright, so we've seen all the cards now, so I'm not going to prolong this any further. I'm going to attack to get rid of this stunned. It's not an actual attack though, so it doesn't switch my form. Then I'm going to use Shadowcat Surprise to do 3 damage and ready your hero. Actually, it's an attack, so I technically only had to pay 1, and I could have used this to generate a resource for that, but that's alright. So I flip over, I ready myself, and I deal 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. That takes down Taskmaster. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so let's get into final thoughts time. So, final thoughts on Shadowcat. I really enjoyed playing her. I mean, it could be because she had a dragon the entire time, literally. It could be because the new aggression cards are kind of fun. I did like the aggression cards and how they let you like add life to an enemy to be able to thwart some stuff off later. I like the thought of that anyway. Toe-to-toe is always good. Honestly, I don't use it very often, but with this new shadow or phased form, it lets you block all the damage anyway, and she had cards that let me draw 2 cards, which let me get into that dazed and confused, stunned and confused, whatever it was. So it let me get into that combo. So I felt really clever playing with her starter deck. There was a lot of things to like about it. Certainly looking forward to that X Mansion, which is at limit 1. Alter Ego, Exhaust, it does not say limit 1. Oh, it's a unique location. So it is unique. So can't have more than 1, but still pretty neat to have anyway. I like Shadowcat. She does things that are different than anybody else. I really like those upgrades. When you ignore crisis icons, you ignore guard, you ignore patrol, you get to actually do some damage to the villains, or you get to like thwart while you're ignoring those crisis icons. So it really plays with, I mean, they're so clever here. I mean, let's be honest. I love Marvel Champions because of stuff like this. Shadowcat feels different than any other hero. In fact, I can't even compare her to a hero. She really wants things like crisis icons. She really wants things like patrol and guard and things like that, which a lot of heroes don't like. So she is able to not only ignore those things, but then do her damage or her thwarting in addition to ignoring those things. So she's kind of a fun hero. She plays around a lot with her phase form. I feel like it's going to be very easy to forget to flip that card over just because it's every time you attack or defend, and that includes attack events and things like that. Getting to the right form at the right time, I really messed up the timing on that a couple of times. As far as like, I would have liked to have been in phase form, I would have liked to have been in solid form, whatever it was. I didn't really use that solid form resource to play attack events, but that is a huge benefit as well. So if you could figure out a way to be way better than I am, which let's be honest, it's not that hard to do, to use that, or to build a deck around like aggression events where she really gets to use that fist icon playing aggression events, I think she's going to be a lot of fun. She's my new favorite hero, not except for the fact she has a dragon, so maybe? Anyway, look out for our other videos. Today we've got this video, and I might do Colossus Live. I haven't decided yet for my first play and impressions. It's not going to age well in the future. It's not going to be live, but if you're listening to this first thing today, you might get to see me play live this afternoon. And then tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to have Phoenix go up on the main channel, and then later in the day, we are going to have Cyclops go up. So look forward to all 4 videos, all 4 first impressions. Hope you enjoyed, and we will talk to you soon. Bye!